Done it. We're in a final. Fucking 55 years. Never thought I'd see the day. And I really mean that. I never thought I'd see the day. So many disasters in the past, bad luck, whatever. My next big birthday's 50, and I've never seen us in a final. I know people, I know kids, you'll know. People who's been born, lived and died, and never seen England in a final. There'll be younger kids now, this will be their first competition, they'll just be like, oh yeah, this football's cool, isn't it? Yeah, England get to the final, and they don't make the most of it. Enjoy the day, whatever you do, everybody, enjoy the day. Enjoy the way we've gone through the competition, only conceding 1 goal. Enjoy the memories that you've built with your friends, watching the games and your families. Enjoy everything. Enjoy all the build-up tomorrow morning. Enjoy the occasion, or before kick-off, and try and enjoy the game if you can. And you know what? Win or lose, it's an occasion that nobody's ever going to forget. Never going to forget. And I'll tell you something else as well. If we do lose, I'm not going to be overly bothered. I'll be disappointed, yeah, but I'm not going to be that disappointed. And do you know why? Because it's a really good group of players. With a manager who most people thought, oh, he's just a yes man for FA and blah, blah, blah. But he's clearly rebuilt everything within that structure at a football level anyway, regarding the team and the under-21s and everything. And he's built something new and fresh. And he needs huge credit for that, even if we don't win. And these are a young squad. And there's a World Cup next year. Yes. These are bright times, Ed. So, enjoy today. Whatever the result. Try and enjoy the match. That's a slightly different thing. But enjoy yourselves. Go out and make some memories that you're going to remember forever. The game. I do think we can win. Italy have been a great side in this competition. Really, really good. From day one, they've impressed. They've impressed because they've been the most un-Italian side in my entire lifetime. I can never remember an Italy team that played like this. Front foot, attacking football, get it forward. When I was a kid, Italy was just at the back, the odd foul here, the odd, pull there. Always with 1, maybe 2 really sparky, inspirational players who were there to create a moment of magic out of nothing. And they always produced them as well. But it was all about that defence, keeping it tight, playing the game, defending a 0-0. That's what they did really. They'd go out to defend a 0-0 and try and win the game with a moment of magic from one of their maestros. And they did it. But this team, they're at it. But we can beat them. I think if any team in this competition could beat Italy, it would be England. So it's quite apt that it's us that's playing them. And I think we can beat them. I thought we could beat before, but Spinazzola injured. What a player he's been. I've been going back through the games because I'm a bit of a saddo like that. I've watched that England game 3 times. It wasn't just an attacking fullback for him. All right foot, which, But he came inside. The number of passes, looking back through their games, where he comes inside and plays 1-2s with the inside midfielder. The fullback's occupied with Insigne. So, and then he's coming in. He's playing 1-2s at centre forward. The left back. He's a massive miss for them. Emerson played over there. He's a good player. Actually, he's left-footed, so he does it in a funny way, bring more of a balance. But in a way, it don't really work because it's that underlap that's caused the real damage. And he's just not a good player. So, Italy will play 4-3-3. They're not going to change for us. They're not going to be like, oh, it's England, what should we do? They're not going to suddenly go 5 at back or anything like that. They're just going to play how they play. What are England going to do? Well, we're a bit more flexible, which is amazing, isn't it? England, flexible. All these years, British football, English football, rigid. And even when we got the influence of, outside cultures from France and Germany, Spain or whatever, or Japan in Wenger's case, and they made slight adjustments. There was still a rigidness with our tactics because suddenly everybody went 3-5-2. Do you remember that? Everybody went 3-5-2. Then everybody went 4-2-3-1. And it changes, but it's like everybody changes. Everybody changes. So there's still that rigid process to it. Southgate, 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 3-2-3-1. Play short there. 4-2-3-1. 4-3-3. 4-5-1. Just whatever's needed. And I like that. I don't like it changing too much because I'm a bit of a, I'm getting to be a bit of a gimmer. But I like that. So, and I think he'll match them up. But incidentally, I think that suits us best anyway, as we saw in the last game, which, to be honest, the foreign press can talk about the dive, and is it a dive? I don't really care, to be honest with you, Other countries have been doing them sorts of things for years, 100 years. That we eventually catch up after all our bad luck stories with our Corinthian spirit at every competition. Oh, we've gone out because the liner didn't spot the ball was over the line. Oh, we've gone out because someone dived. No, we've gone out because someone's punched ball in there. We've gone out because a linesman seen an infringement by Alan Shearer. I mean, Sol Campbell had 2 winning goals choked off at World Cup quarterfinals, or knockout stages anyway, last 16. 2 in 2 tournaments, choked out, and when you look back at them videos, you're like, what's that for? So, our players gone down a bit easy. So what? Other players have been going down easy for years. We're playing them at their own game. Let's be honest about it. So Spanish press can moan about diving, and Italian press can moan about diving, and it's like, well, you lads invented it, so, pot, kettle, silence. Anyway, tactics. England, I think, will go 4-2-3-1. Well, they could go 4-1-2-3, because I do wonder if they might play Rice a bit deeper. What I'm going to do, I am a terrible technophobe, but I'm going to try and get a picture to show you what I mean. There is an argument for 3 at the back like we did against Germany. Don't subscribe to it myself, but there is one reason why it might not be a bad idea. So we'll start with that, if I can do it, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so if we did line up with the 3-4-3, I think this is how we'd do it. Trippier coming in to be aware of the overlapping from Emerson. But the main thing is to look at here is the back 3. And it would be Insigne cutting inside like he's done all tournament. That is a real threat. He's quick and he does like to get inside and get them shots away. And I think that is the only reason why Southgate might go to a 3. Kyle Walker brings that pace into the back line, which is something that might be vital in a defensive point of view. Southgate's got to make that decision, because the thing to look at here is, if we go with a 2 and it's just Stones and Maguire, the one thing that they don't really want is players getting on the inside and cutting in at them and running directly at them. Crosses they'll deal with, one-on-one battles, yes, but tricky players cutting in, well, that's something that you want to avoid. To that end, they could have Rice coming across to help block passes before they get there. And alternatively, it might be that Southgate trusts his back 4 enough, especially with Italy only really playing Immobile down the middle, to say, okay, Maguire, you can deal with Immobile. Stones, just be aware of Insigne coming inside from that side. But there is just that possibility that he might go to 3 just to have Walker in there for the pace. Just something for us to be aware of. As it is, I think he'll go with the 4-3-3 himself and match him up all the way, and just have Walker marking him as a right back with Stones as a spare man. The reason I don't think he'll go with a 5 at the back, or a 3 at the back if you like, he won't want us to lose this midfield area. Games, it might be an old-fashioned view, but I still believe are won and lost in midfield. And with the three midfielders the Italians have got in there, whether it's Locatelli or Verratti that starts in that wider slot, they can dominate teams in there. He won't want to risk, surely, I don't think, having two players in there who could be isolated against their powerful three-man midfield. That's why I think he'll go 4-3-3. Rice and Phillips have done brilliant, but Southgate won't want to leave them exposed to an extra man, especially if that extra man is somebody with the quality that Jorginho has shown in this tournament. See what I mean? Does that make sense? It's funny, isn't it? I talk normally. As soon as I start talking about tactics, my voice changes. Get a little bit serious, don't I? I don't talk in my normal voice, a bit odd. But anyway, so that's the only reason I can see him going with the three at the back. Just him coming inside, Emerson on the overlap. And what we'd have to make sure there is that we didn't get pinned into a 5 at back with Saka or Sancho or whoever comes into that role, getting pulled back to Mark Emerson. So that's the only reason I can think of that. I don't think he will do that though. I think he will go with his 4-3-3. I think he'll match them up right across the park, not just to match them up, but because that's got us our best performances so far in competition. The first half against Croatia was good, the first half against Czech Republic was good, and that was this system. And of course, the last game, Denmark completely dominated the game from beginning to end, including extra time when we just looked to have got a different level again. But again, that flexibility, he did sacrifice an attacker when we were holding on and just put that extra defender in. So it's there if we need it anyway. Don't think he will start that way, but it's there if we need it. Think he will go 4-3-3 and match them up right across the middle. So we'll just have a quick look at that. This is how I think it's going to line up. I think we'll match them in midfield and try and get our own game going from there like we have before. Now, he has played Rice in a slightly deeper position in there with Phillips through the competition, apart from like the Croatia game when Phillips really got forward and was causing problems. I'd like to see him do that again. But with Mount in there as well, I think it might be likely it's more with a 2 and a 1. Certainly against Croatia, it was more like this, with Phillips getting forward and ratting tackles in it and getting stuck in, and also supporting the attack. With Rice a bit deeper and just sweeping up behind, letting Mount and Phillips go and do what they want, get forward, press people high up. Against these, I think it might be best to do it the other way, with Phillips and Rice deeper, as we've seen in a couple of other games, and getting Mount pushed on against Jorginho. I've actually seen Mount coming in for a bit of stick because he don't get stuck in like the other two, but he's really good at nicking the ball. And in fact, in the last match against Denmark, Mason Mount won more tackles than anybody else on the pitch. So a bit of a myth regarding the defensive side of the game. I think it's just because he nicks it rather than going with a full fund of block tackles and slide tackles. So I think this is how we'll line up. Loads of little interesting battles all over the pitch. That Mount, I think, getting pushed on and pressing from the front is going to be vital with those two behind him, getting tight when they can. The right hand side, Saka, Sancho, Foden even, who looked lively in the last game. I don't know who's going to be on there, but I really do think we can pin Emerson back, and I think it's vital that we do that because of the support of Insigne. All Italy's best play this competition has come down the left hand side, obviously with Spinazzola, who was absolutely fantastic, but the way that he came inside when Insigne went left and provided that underlap for him to find, and when he came inside, Insigne, Spinazzola went on the outside. That was really a huge weapon for the Italians. And looking at the last game against Spain, they missed it so much. So what I'd really like to see is England's wide players pushing on, really getting on to Emerson and causing a divide, if you like, between those two players and isolating Insigne and his support fullback. And creating a division between them so that they can't link in there. That has been their main threat down that side of the pitch, and if we can do that, and I think Walker can deal with Insigne, and I don't feel whoever our winger is has got more than enough of an attacking threat to make their fullback think twice about getting pushed on and attacking us. So that's going to be a vital area of the pitch. I can't wait to see how that unfolds, especially since I think it's a battle we can come out on top of. So that's what I think we'll do, that 4-3-3. I might be wrong. I think Rice and Phillips will be the deeper two with Mount pushing on. Might be wrong. Maybe we'll play one older instead of two. Maybe we'll squeeze them right up the pitch. Who knows? Don't even know who's going to play on the right hand side yet. Because that's nothing. Southgate's kept us all guessing all the way through. And it's been quite fun having a guess as well, hasn't it? Oh, yes. Nearly there now. Nearly there now. Great occasion. Great team. They're a really good team. And this, like I said before, this is just the beginning for these lads. So even if we don't get the result today, there's a World Cup next year. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead of these lads where they can go out there and win stuff, have a real opportunity to win stuff. A lot of that's down to the manager because he's instilled this mentality amongst them. The game management against Denmark the other night in the second half and in the extra time was absolutely fantastic, especially for the age bracket they're in. They're playing without any fear. It's absolutely brilliant. So, even if we don't get it today, the positive is that the future, the next decade or so, is bright ahead. There's a lot to look forward to. That said, I think we can win. And I think we will win. And I think it'll be the first step for these players on going on to become legends for the country. I really do. I really do. And I'm not somebody to get carried away as a rule. I've not said it yet, but do you know what? It is. It's coming home.